What up, homies? Gilly writes comics and stuff, talking about us. You and me, us. Just a spoiler rant here on Jordan Peele's second, I guess, horror thriller go round. His first cinematic debut, directorial debut was Get Out, which I thought was brilliant. Um, I wish I could say the same for us. So I'm gonna try to keep this short but to the point because it's a spoiler rant. I don't have Nelly on the show. I don't have Mateo. I have no guests. It's me getting dirty with the nitty gritty on us. So first of all, I just gotta admit, I saw this movie. I want to say about maybe 2 weeks ago. So my memory is a bit rusty. um, I had to Google some of the characters because I forgot their names. But anyway, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So the premise behind us is pretty damn intriguing. Okay. I mean, I know we all saw the trailers. They were damn creepy. They were spooky. I mean, if you just think about finding an evil version of yourself and coming face to face with it, I mean, that's probably something that just have you, crap in your pants in no time flat. Definitely the concept of an evil doppelganger is insanely good. Okay, it's brilliant as well. I don't think I could recall any movies that deal with this in a way that's as engaging, maybe as us, or just thought provoking, just from what we saw with the trailers. Of course, if you guys, there's a movie that has an evil doppelganger and where that's the main premise, because I know we've seen bits and pieces in certain movies and here and there, but if there's something like that, just definitely let me know in the comments just so I could in case I missed it. But it flirts around with that. In the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to a little black girl. I think her name's Adele, and she's with her parents, and they're at I guess a carnival, and the dad's I think shooting, remember that little clown face that you had to shoot his tongue, and then like a little balloon would, you know, pop over his head or just start filling up. And the idea was to get it to pop first than anybody else. So I think he's doing that game. And the mother, she has to use the bathroom, and she's like telling Adele, "Come on, come with me. I gotta use the bathroom." And Adele's like, "I don't want to go." Okay, she wants to watch her dad. Dad is too into his game to notice the daughter's behind him, drifting away because she ends up walking away from her dad and just starts venturing out. Um, which is for me, that's a new dad. That's just a horrible, that's horrible parenting. Okay, I ain't gonna leave my kid unsupervised, and my wife better damn well know to not leave a kid while I'm playing any kind of game because my mind ain't gonna be there. Um, Otherwise, I just wouldn't play it. As things you just realize. I mean, I get she has to venture off. It's the inciting incident. She has to get away from her parents. But I thought they could have done that. I thought Jordan could have done that in a better way. But anyway, this is me nitpicking, right? So she comes into this House of Mirrors type thing, and it's pretty creepy. I forgot what the name was, House of Shadows or House of Shaman or something like that. It was two different versions when we go forward in time. But anyway, the little girl walks inside. It's creepy. She gets to the part where it's all mirrors, and she thinks she's looking at her reflection, and the little girl staring at her literally just chokes her. And it's the doppelganger. Here we go. And it's pretty amazing. So it jumps back from present day to the past, and we realize Adele is going through some sort of post-traumatic stress thing with this encounter, which of course makes sense. So we go into where she's older now, maybe 18 years later, 20 something years later, whatever. She has a family, husband, two kids, and they're going to like a vacation home. They're just going to chill out and stuff. And the cool part here is, you could see like a black family acting pretty much normal. And the way I bring this up is because we all know race is an issue with Jordan Peele. Not that it's an issue, but I know there's a lot of social themes underlying this. So, I mean, people could stereotype. It's the truth. But here we see a black family just being normal, and it's pretty cool. So that's not normal for me. That's just normal for everybody, right? But we get to see how they interact. We get to see, just the chemistry of the family. They seem like a loving family, and that's pretty cool. Well, again, we go back into a flashback and we see that Adele, after the experience, she just hasn't been talking. She's just quiet. She's just, so the parents are just mortified. What's going on? She hasn't talked. She's not the same, yada, yada, yada. And at that moment, I'm not going to lie, at that moment is where I thought, okay, could that could that Adele actually be the doppelganger because she's not talking? So that's kind of figured that out earlier in the beginning. But again, we go back and forth. They're at their home, new home, jumping back to the future. And the long story short, we eventually see the doppelganger family make its appearance. And that's where we see the evil version, and all they want is just to murder Adele's real family. So the evil doppelgangers come right on cue, evil and sinister as they come. Props to the actress who played the girl Zora, because her evil counterpart, she looked freaky. She did good with that. Her eerie grin, her smile was sinister, and you could see the range with her as far as just on one side when she was a normal girl, how she was smiling, laughing, joking, and then you see this other side when she plays the evil part, and it was just it's just send chills down your spine, just how she was. It was just very evil, and she nailed it. Um, so that's where, okay, where for me, where things got interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it's slow. Things start off slow, but then at that point, when the family comes and the doppelganger family encounters Adele's real family, that's where things heat up. Things start cooking. Um, and you kind of feel the terror, you feel the dread, you kind of feel like, oh man, is like one of the real family members going to get killed off, or what's going to happen. But it becomes this super duper long cat and mouse game that's like super drawn out. It's like exhausting in how drawn out it is. um there has some elements there where, as far as the horror thriller aspect, where they seem to get it right, but then they had other parts where it's just on and on and on, and it's just, I don't know, for me, it's like if you're on this roller coaster and it goes up and it's going up, 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 and it's high, it's going up, 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 and you're like, all right, you wait for that first drop and you get that first drop, yeah, and then you wait for the second drop, and then it's not as a big drop, it's like barely a drop, it's like a little curve uphill, and it's just like, okay, no drop, and then you're kind of still on this roller coaster and there's no more drops. And it's like, then it comes to a point where it kind of goes up, and it doesn't even drop. It just kind of just straightens into like a train track, and it's just, you're just going straight, and it's like, where's the next bump? Where's the next scare, or the next moment where you're gonna lose your breath or hold the person next to you? But for me, us didn't deliver in that respect. They had a part where there was another family that it was a friend of, I think, Adele's husband, and we saw them, their evil doppelganger, kind of take apart that family, and it was coming because we were never invested in that family. Um, so I mean, for me, there was like the family, like in the beginning, and when they first encountered their evil selves, it was really where it's gut wrenching, where it was interesting. But then the more they kind of got away, it's like you feel like, okay, they're just, it didn't, there was no threat level. I don't feel like, for me, it wasn't there. The stakes weren't as high, or I mean, for me, it just fell flat. Because they get away from the doppelganger family of the husband's friend. They kind of get away. They all kind of killed each someone of the family members. So it was like, they didn't really seem smart. I don't know. They didn't really seem as threatening, as dangerous as Adele's own doppelganger. Like, they seemed, in the beginning, they seemed really smart. They seemed really on top of it. And how the family gets away, incipiently and initiatively in the first way, it was pretty cool. But then, like, the continued follow-ups, for me, they kind of like, it fell flat. Zora's doppelganger, the teen girl, she kind of like jumps, like the family somehow gets the car of the dad's bud, who got wiped out by their doppelgangers, and then they killed the doppelgangers. So they kind of like, they're trying to escape in car, and then the girl attacks, and it's like they're all attacking separately. It's like they were the family, even the evil family, just like they were attacking separately. So the girl goes up first, and she's attacking the family while they're in the car. They run her up into a tree. She's done, and they kind of get away. And now it's like daylight. And sorry if I'm just going all erratic, but I'm just trying to get to the point so you can see how the movie ends. So you could just kind of see where my opinions are. So then there's a part where there's like what is it? The car stops and there's the son. He has his evil doppelganger, and he's like in the road, and the mother comes out like she's gonna do something or try to stop him, Adele, whatever. And there's like a line of fire or something in the back, and he's just making all these motions with his hands, trying to be creepy in broad daylight. That didn't work. Um, and for some reason, the little boy he wants to face his doppelganger. And okay, cool. So like, but he's at a distance and he kind of steps out of the car and he kind of looks and he kind of does something like I can't remember if he has like a face mask or like he had he was just doing something where now this is like entering mirror mode and now the doppelganger is like following his everything that he does. He's like mimicking, the regular boy. And I think his name was Jason. So then Jason kind of like plays the Simon Says game, and the doppelganger follows along. And all of a sudden, he starts backing up. Jason starts backing up, and then the doppelganger is like backing up, and he backs up into the fire that he created. It was just so like, it was like really, it was like a yawn fest. That one, it's like, come on, man, that was just slow and just dull and just like okay, so I can't even remember how I think okay, so here now I'm like I think again I'm like trying to remember because it wasn't that great, but again, maybe I gotta watch it again, which I'm probably not gonna do. But let me okay, so somehow, and this is where we get to the little twist. Somehow I think Jason gets kidnapped or like taken by Adele. Or Adele's doppelganger. There you go. So Adele, the evil version of her, kidnaps her son, and she kind of tries to follow where he got kidnapped at or whatever. Somehow he gets free, but Adele ends up in like another House of Mirrors type deal, and it's literally the same exact one that she went when she was a child. And this part is kind of interesting because you get to see like where everything started and kind of how things happened. So long story short, she gets into like a battle with her doppelganger, and the doppelganger is just like unconscious, like she can't even be touched. She's like trying to stab her. So she's making a mockery. It's like the evil doppelganger is like in charge. She got this. But somewhere along the line, I don't know, she's like toying with her, but then she just leaves and then leaves Adele to kind of just still venture out and figure stuff on her own in this like laboratory that it's like House of Mirrors back room door with escalators going all the way down into like you know where I guess these labs were or these experiments were rabbits out of the cage and all that stuff. And there's symbolism there. In the beginning, we see a bunch of rabbits and cages. But again, there comes a moment where she's just in this room, Adele, and it's quiet. And don't ask me why the doppelganger never finished her off in the beginning, or just they didn't play that cat and mouse game too good. But she's in the room with her, and like she kind of comes from behind the doppelganger to try to take out Adele, and she like turns around and just like stabs her, and like that was it. That's how she killed her, and that was also flat. That was also like dull. I mean, dull. That was just come on, man. When you see Get Out and you saw how awesome that was, how the buildup was, and you're watching this, it's like the buildup. It's like think of like this balloon, and you're filling it with air in the beginning with a lot of air because it gets big real fast. But then I'm so it doesn't like there's hardly any buildup after that, or it just becomes kind of boring, predictable afterwards. So then it's like you're still filling it, but with like little bits of air, but it's still roughly big. But you're kind of waiting for this like explosion, like this pop, like this, finale, this kind of like awesome, whatever, or some kind of buildup with payoff. And then all of a sudden it's like, you hear, like you releasing the air out of the balloon and it makes this, that fizzing fart sound like, sorry if I can't do it that well. But it's like that, like that. Oh, and it's just like, really? And then like the balloon just like starts flying, like, flat. Flies away and stuff. It was just really. So then when Adele's doppelganger is like biting the dust, she kind of like couldn't, she makes her confession or whatever, or she makes her little spiel. and her monologue ended up you know revealing that she was actually the real girl. So if that I don't know if that makes sense. So basically in the beginning we see the real girl and she sees her doppelganger and it gets she gets strangled and then she kind of gets away, but then when she talks to doctors they're like, her parents are like, "Oh, she doesn't talk anymore." At that moment that was a doppelganger. So the real doppelganger got adopted into the family, right? And just became, living the normal life and, still goes through her post traumatic stress stuff. But who we think is Adele is actually the doppelganger, right? At 5 years, kind of just gets her normal life because she just wanted to be a normal girl, I guess. She was in the lab and everything, all the experiments and all the other people that were just like zombies, and she wanted to get out. Somehow she got out. So which means that the real girl ended up staying trapped in this facility where with all the other doppelganger families, whatever. And I guess there she kind of devolved and she kind of lost her voice, or she kind of like she just like because she knew who she was, but she wanted to get that revenge to like take everything back that was taken from her. And that part I think is cool. And I'm not, that, but it's just the way it's handled. It was just so piss poor. Like it could have been done way better. I love Jordan Peele's work with Get Out. And again, this is just, I guess, me as a big fan where I had high hopes. And like what I saw was just like, it had a good premise, but then it just stumbled into a pile of crap. Like, it's just like, that's the best we could have gotten. Like, I know they could have been, again, maybe if I see this movie again, I miss some stuff. I don't know. Maybe I could be getting some things wrong. If I do, hit me up in the comments if I kind of, got the twist mixed up or whatever. Um, But, that raises questions, yeah, like how the doppelganger families are like taking over the world and forming this big, hands across the America thing from the 80s. And they're just people, they're just evil people. I mean, if you put a bullet to their head, they're going to drop. I understand the element of surprise, but, how this thing happened to how it happened it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I just like there's a lot going on where it could have been finessed a lot better. And I think Jordan Peele kind of missed some spots here and there. So I don't know. That's just, they had a lot of potential. I don't think I'm gonna watch this movie again. I don't have any desire to do so. If it's on sale at Target for like 750, I might pick it up and toss it in the collection because I do love Jordan Peele's work, but just because I'm still mystified by Get Out. I think it was a masterpiece, and a movie like that comes once, in a generation or whatever. It is once in a couple decades. It's what it is. It's a great movie. And it shows you the kind of movies, the kind of narratives you can get when you have writers or creators, from different, backgrounds. It just shows you, you know what I mean? I think, Jordan Peele, he's half black, he's half white, so that's the only kind of movie that could come from him because he could identify, with as a black person, and he could also identify, as a white person just because he's seen things, relative to his white, side of the family as well as to his black side of the family. Although growing up, he probably identified more as a black person because he looks black. So, and racism and all that stuff that goes in. Not to say every white person's racist, not at all. Not to say every black person's racist. Again, it's just, this is the world we live in. So people, judge and people. So it could have been he was in a school, probably like an all white school, and maybe just, I don't know. I'm just babbling here, but what I'm trying to say is that a movie like Get Out is excellent, and that could only come from someone that like Jordan Peele. Okay, um, that's we would have never seen that anywhere else, and he made that. So Us is another brilliant idea, and there's a lot going on there, and the premise is pretty damn cool. But I don't see it as emotionally impactful as Get Out was, or as thought provoking or engaging as Get Out was. Because there was a lot of social elements with Get Out. There was, with race and everything. There was a lot going on with subversion. There was just so much, and it was done well. And with Us, I don't see that as much. Um, so as far as the social commentary and stuff, as far as, how Jordan Peele's like, "Ah, I don't want to cast a white person. I've been there and seen that movie." So the fact that, he could do this movie and feature a black family, it's cool. I mean, it doesn't add anything extra to the story like Get Out. It had to be that way, like, just because how it was and how they were, kind of, enslaving or kidnapping black bodies, to keep them in the sunken place so they could be utilized by it through that psycho, brain type transfer, which was cool. And they can kind of incorporate their bodies and live in the black body. So I think that was cool. So with us, it just it's cool, but again, from a 1 to 10, I'd give it a 5. That's being kind of generous, just because I think the buildup was great, but after they got away from the doppelganger family, it ran its course, and there wasn't any more, like, the cat and mouse buildup kind of just, fizzled away into that, helium balloon fart noise, and nothing else, mustered out of it or came out from it. The twist was good, but again, it was meh, because you could see it coming in the beginning, and then just how, you know sh- she ends up killing the doppelganger. It was just so meh. Again, I don't know. I just For me, there's just a lot more, I guess, that could be done as far as like an end of the world thing. I don't want to see an Us 2. I don't think we need to see one. But I might see the movie again just to get a better, sometimes you see movies a second and third time and there's a lot, going on, and maybe I can get a better appreciation of it. But I just feel the family, just how they handle the doppelganger family is just like, it was weak afterwards. Non-bumpy roller coaster ride, no big drops, jump scares, or nothing. Just that one big one, and that was it. And how they built up to the family. But anyway, guys, if I missed something, let me know in the comments if what you thought of Us, if you saw it, if you liked it, maybe you disagreed with me. That's fine. We could always, agree to disagree and still be cool, and cordial, because that's how I am. But I had a lot of high hopes for this, and it was just it was meh, you know. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. I can't really think of anything else. Just that Get Out for me was amazing, and Us was just not that good. But hope you guys are all right. If you check this out, definitely leave a comment. If you saw Us, tell me what you think, and we'll keep it we'll keep it real. Till next time, guys. Later, later, later. Love y'all. Peace.